Shas tea enthusiast. Hey, Adam. I think I may do some of these Visions Fugitives for a recital. Hey, Bonsai. Yes, because the stream just started. You guys are super fast. Normally, YouTube won't push this out until 2 minutes in. So you have to have notifications on to see it before 2 minutes. So, yes. Kind of crazy though. Appreciate the support. Do you guys like YouTube? I mean, I'm guessing you do. More than like Twitch. Because I've tried Twitch a few times and I've never really been able to be that successful or enjoyed it that much. I'm just curious. Because I'm always trying to think about new ideas, new places to go. Hey everybody. Yes, you like Twitch? Don't even have a Twitch account? YouTube's better. You're not a mod. That's okay. Don't worry. The mod to watcher ratio is going down dramatically now that YouTube's actually putting the video out. Old Portugal? Hola, Portugal. From Portugal. That's awesome. Ronaldo is the GOAT. I mean, Tom Brady is the GOAT, but I'm just kidding. Two completely different sports. Thomas Turbato. I'm not necessarily sure I know what that is, and I don't know if it's coming up when I look it up. Oh yeah, it means high Turbato, up theme. We'll grab some of these. I'm probably gonna play one more little Prokofiev Vision Fugitive. And you get more. Namaste means hello in India. Well, hello means hello here. I want to work on this a little bit. That's right. That's such a cool part. Where am I from? United States. Good afternoon. 100% likes, good. Play piano too, awesome. Bad Company by Bad Company. Bad Company till the day I die. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. That's a drum sheet. Feel like making love. I know that song. It's totally a drum sheet. See if I can find it. I don't really want to have to look it up, but I will if I need to. Okay, cool. I found something that works. Songs to cry to, basically. Love Like You. You can do this one too. This is a sound from Museo called Piano Blue. It's the same piano that George Gershwin used to play Rhapsody in Blue. Dearly Beloved, Moonlight Sonata, first movement, Goodbye Life Jennings. I don't have Goodbye by Life Jennings. Probably would have to listen to it for a second. Which I guess I could. Please, Mark. I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. You do know that, right? 6 a.m. Hello? Play Jaime song by J Balvin. Synth Wars! We got Moonlight Sonata. Recommend a cheap keyboard to initiate playing. Yeah. Any tips on solfeggio hand placement? Now these are the type of questions I get really into. So let's talk about cheap keyboards for just 1 second. Mark Sheeran. Shortest keyboard recommended for practicing only? 49 keys. I can say that really easily. I've traveled quite extensively via airplane. You can take a 49 key, check it very easily. It's easy to carry around the airport. And then with that 49 key keyboard, you can play Bach and Vengeance, no problem. How am I? Doing good. How are you doing, Lucifer Morningstar? Yeah, well, don't worry. We'll keep playing that. How many years have you been playing the piano? Like 25 plus. 49 key keyboard. So let's talk about cheap keyboards for a second. These days, there's a lot better options than there used to be. It used to be you had to spend quite a bit before you really got an okay keyboard. Now you can actually spend probably only like a little bit. Like $400, you could get like the entry-level Yamaha and you'd be doing pretty good. But what I would recommend, because this is not going to give you a good enough idea from what I'm saying, is make a checklist of things that are really important. Do you have a speaker? If you have a speaker, then you don't need to have a speaker in your keyboard. That's cost you can save. Do you need the keys to be weighted? If you're not practicing classical or really trying to practice to play on the acoustic piano, I wouldn't say you need the keys to be weighted. That's more cost you can save. Are you okay with being used? These are all things to consider. 80 people, sweet, we're on a roll. Let's get up higher. Let's break some records. Invite anybody you know who likes piano. We'll play some songs. We'll do some even meme songs. This is the place to be if you like piano and like talking music. Oh, alas, it doesn't exist. A nice keyboard stand or desk. Here's what you need to do. You need to spend like 70 to $100 on a real keyboard stand that can take some heft, and then you need to just make yourself a keyboard stand, keyboard desk. So if you look here, that is just an angle bracket, and this is like a $10 board from Menards. That's how I built that. Angle bracket, $10 board from Menards. Make sure you hit the studs. You're in business. Can you give me my data back? No, I love your data, okay? I love your data. I'm not going to give it back. Too bad. Here's a Life Jennings song because someone wanted a Life Jennings song. It's not the one you requested, but here's one. Don't worry, we'll do Bohemian Rhapsody for sure. We'll do River Flows Through You. What's my favorite Beethoven song? That's a good song. No 432 business. I'm not into the 432. Runaway. We can do some Runaway. Pretty straightforward song there. Get rid of that one. Solfeggio. I want to talk fingering on solfeggio for a second. Yeah, we can do some Bill Evans. Throw some out. 49 key keyboard is a beautiful size. Beethoven doesn't have a song. Yeah, I mean, Beethoven has tons of songs. Beethoven has stuff where people sing. If you're being a pedantic, crazy person. Otherwise, you can just realize that a colloquial way for people to refer to music is songs. So, Chopin Enthusiast just said, be right back. So we'll wait for Solfeggio until he comes back because he wanted to talk about fingering on that. Isn't it called Peace? Again, one of my big pet peeves that I'm trying to change, and if you all can help me change this in the world, we'd be in a much better place. Why are musicians grammar Nazis? Like, why are musicians like the same person that when I write a paper and I write the wrong form of there, they're like, you wrote the wrong form of there. All musicians act that way. I'm not trying to call out anybody in particular. I'm just trying to make this general point, which is if we act that way, we're going to make our world smaller. Nobody's going to want to learn classical if we're like, it's not a song. It's a piece. Who cares? Who cares? It's music. Enjoy it. Vibe with it. Try to help correct people. Especially it's hilarious even in the global world because these are all very specific English conventions in the United States. So it's not even like a fair assessment for the whole entire world. Everybody's going to have a different convention. So anyway, had to throw that out there because it drives me crazy. Again, Elan, I'm not trying to call you out in particular. I run into this all the time. I like jazz. I like jazz too. Throw out a Bill Evans song or a standard he liked playing, and we can try it Bill Evans style. Kanye West song. Do you play Arabic music? Yeah, we can. Enjoy the silence. Bro improvisation. We'll throw that in there. Hans Zimmer. Oh, Jorna's theme. Let me grab that. We'll grab Giorno's theme. How am I so good? Lots of practice. This is that one song, right? I don't play a brass as well. My wife does. How much time did it take you to master the piano? Really good questions here. Gotta go. See you later, Adam. That's a little La Campanella for the La Campanella enjoyers. At some point I'll learn the real thing. Hadal Achbach, probably pronouncing that totally wrong. Hadaf Bach, by Al-Najjar. Ooh, there we go. Sweet, there is a lead sheet. That makes my life easier. Okay, I want to answer a couple of these questions, and then we'll go from there. How much time did it take you to master the piano? That's a good question. So there was that one dude, Malcolm Gladwell, that wrote all these books about mastering things, and that what it was 10,000 hours is what he put out. That's a pretty reasonable role. Sold my Facebook shares. Why would I sell my Facebook shares? You know, you can play a little piano and still run Facebook. Anyway, so here's the deal. You've got to spend super amounts of time in it. But it really depends on what you mean by master an instrument. I would say by 14 or 15, I could work my way around the piano. I was writing my own music. I was doing different things. By, as I got... All right, am I back? Okay, sweet. I'll have to call them back in a second. So when I say 10,000 hours, that's just this rule. So this guy, Malcolm Gladwell, wrote a book called The Tipping Point, and his whole assumption analysis is it takes about 10,000 hours to get to the level of skill that you're going to need to get to really be able to become an expert at something. So please play. Don't worry, I'll play in just a second. Okay. So what I would say in terms of becoming a master, it just depends on what you're trying to go for. And I'd say every year or so, I realize I'm like, wow, I'm way better than I used to be It's just a constant thing that you just sort of have to reinvent. Now, talking about how much hours a day, because Chopin enthusiast saying, what's a good amount of time to practice every day to see results fast, and what gets you there in practice? That's going to be really being specific, goal-oriented practice. I like to separate things in 3 categories. Long-term technique goals. So things that you're doing way in the future for technique. So that could be like super slow scales. That could be arpeggios. Whatever it is, it could be an etude. The second thing is some piece that you're working on right now. Super specific goals on that. And then the third thing, because I like theory, I like to learn stuff, is you need to pick something there. Chopin enthusiasts, separate out all the different areas that you're working on and just try to get easy wins, little tiny wins, and measure what you're doing. If you're not playing your scales with a metronome, how do you know that you're going to get faster? All these different sort of things. I'm going to play this a little bit, and then I want to answer, what was it? There was another question there. How long does it take to move a piano? Depends on how strong you are. Do I recommend fake books? That's the next thing I want to talk about. Let's see. I feel like I'm over practicing, but I want to be productive all the time. Yeah, Shostakovich is not a bad. That's not a bad general set of expectations. We go from rushy to there. of My Heart by Sting. I haven't seen that one before. That'd be good to do. I've got some of these others pulled up. Let's talk fake books for a second, though. Oh yeah, ba boo doo 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 doo. Vivaldi Winter. So let's talk fake books. So first of all, not Facebook, fake books. So what's a good fake out after a dominant chord? I mean, you could do the obvious one, which is to go to the minor, right? But here's a great fake out actually a dominant chord. Let's say you're playing in a minor key, right? We were just in what was it? We were just in B minor, right? Mingle, Squid Game 2? Sure. We can do it. I actually had a great Yeah, we got something that'll work. So fake books for Tijuana. Fake books are great for when you either need to play a song that you've never heard before on short order, or fake books are really, really good for playing with other people, and so they're all on the same side. Let me really quickly explain what a fake book is for those who don't know. A fake book is a set of notes where it's just the melody and the chords. I like he even drinks water like suck. Yes, water. A terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do. So basically a fake book is just going to be the chords and then the melody on top. People on YouTube Shorts are much nicer than the people on TikTok. That wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. This is a normal sized glass in the United States for those of you that don't know. Where is it? Right here. Yeah. Okay. Coming back to Squid Games with this one. Don't mean a thing. That's a great one. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do-wop, 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 do-wop. All right. Let me play one of these else, and then I'll do a don't mean a thing. tips for arpeggios. After like 2 weeks, I still can't get something down like Moonlight Sonata, third movement. So first of all, those aren't really arpeggios in Moonlight Sonata, they're broken chords. That's not really quite the same movement. But I can give you some general tidbits of that. Russian roulette, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. Remember, it's Lady Gaga. Are you talking about Poker Face? Whatever. It's probably not even the right song. You gotta go. Bye. Bye. So if you want to learn arpeggios, Bach's Prelude in E major, yeah, some Bach would be good. Bach would definitely be good to practice arpeggios. But the main Eternity Memories of Light Waves. All right, hold on. Go work, Trenzo, just for you. Okay, arpeggios. Here's the deal with arpeggios. Piano, most people think of as an instrument where the crossover is the biggest deal. The crossover being the biggest deal is not really actually an accurate way of understanding how piano playing actually works. So think about guitar. Here, let me grab a guitar just to try to show this off. Let's see, I'm trying to do something on guitar, right? I'm here, and then when I want to move, I just move my hand, right? Shift position. Shift the position, right? That's what you want to do. That's going to cause you to be able to play very fast and very accurately on guitar. It's just shifting where your hand is. It's very, very similar when you are doing arpeggios. Here, and then move. And then here, move, and then here. If you're doing a lot of this, you're not going to be able to play the arpeggio that well. So that would be really what I would say is the really, really big unlock with that. Rachmaninoff Prelude in G minor. That sounds fun. You can mess with that. Oh yeah, we got Enjoy the Silence pulled up. I'll grab it. I will go and grab that. I'll need to go soon. Yeah, we don't need to say the same thing over and over again. You're a guitarist, not a pianist. You can still play on piano. That's impressive. Am I a professional pianist? The answer is yes. Yes, this is a big part of what I do for a living. I play all over the world. I mean, all over the world, meaning the United States. I guess not really the whole world. Don't you worry about a thing. Hey, what's up, Mike? Do. Can do that. All right, let's play a couple of these. Enjoy the Silence. Binks Sake. Can pull it up. Yes, always a good one. Oh, we got past 5K? Awesome. You saw someone perform that live? Yeah, it's a good piece. As a singer, I usually play either guitar or bass while on stage, but from time to time when I do songs that aren't complicated, I like to play piano. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you can ask God and him. This is pretty childish, which I guess I can't expect much out of just random people in chat, but we're mostly talking music. Megalovania, Rush E. We already did Rush E. know what Chinese song you're talking about, but I don't know it off the top of my head, the name of it. This is so ugly written. This is horribly written. G sharps all the time. How often do you get requests for Interstellar? All the time. But we haven't played it yet, so and now I want to do this don't you worry about a thing. For Elise, you can do for Elise. Well, that song's like 3 chords. It's not that too crazy. Vivaldi, we can do some Vivaldi. Yeah, in a second I'm gonna probably switch over and do some of my originals and some music that I'm interested in playing. I was working on it at the beginning. Yeah, both I'm him and John. We cut it out. I don't mind if you guys want to be infantile for a little bit, but if we're bringing down the chat, then okay. All right, bye. Bye. Yep. Nope, that's fine. You can do it. All right. Let's see. What are we doing here? Yeah, you can. I mean, you can also report too. That would probably get some action at some point. Castlevania would be fun. What were you saying? Vampire of Time. All right, I'm gonna do Castlevania. Then we'll do Golden Hour. Oh, can you work on a song called Castlevania? Oh, the song is called Castlevania. Sure. Oh. I thought this was supposed to be hard. I thought that was supposed to be hard. Doesn't seem like a big problem. Yeah, I'll do Golden Hour. Nothing else matters. We can see. I'll probably do Golden Hour, and then I'll probably do some of my own stuff. We may come back later. I may stream later. Probably low probability. Ooh, and now I want to answer this question about Baroque. Questions. Hold on. All right, we will pull up Night in Tunisia because animated musical. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm thinking it's probably what it is. Let's talk. Hold on. Let's talk Baroque in just a second. But oh, Forsaken by Dream Theater. Oh man, you're gonna really make me wanna do a little bit more because I'm a Dream Theater fan. I might not be able to find just a score of Dream Theater though out there. Maybe. I don't know, this looks promising. Possibly. Or I'm gonna get a virus. Okay, anyway. Let's talk odd time signatures for a second. I haven't like banned them, but I probably will. Yeah, so his name was I'm Him. He was being kind of annoying. I didn't ban him because I didn't see it on the little pop-up menu. But if he comes back and is obnoxious, I will find the thing to like actually hide him from the channel. All that business. Anyway, let's talk odd time signatures for a second. So the easiest way to understand odd time signatures is to think about every note in them. So if you're talking 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and get something consistent through there. You don't quite get that luxury with Jesus Molina's part, but you're close, because here's the deal. If you have a repeated figure, it's so much easier to play odd time signatures. That's why, for example, in this Dream Theater song, guess what happens? We fill in every note. If you're doing the night in Tunisia, we're filling in every note. Odd time signatures are extremely hard if you don't fill in every note. If you fill in every note, it is just piece of cake. So here's the deal. You have to learn how to feel where this is at. So what I would personally engage in is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you got to be careful not to... And then he helps you out a little bit later by adding in the piano going, right, with it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you just have to count out loud. I guess that's what I'm saying. Count out loud. Just count out loud. Which country am I from? The United States. I'm getting something in from the Discord. I will pull this up. I'm going to do this request. I'm going to do this request. I'm going to do a little bit of the Dream Theater. When you fill in every note is hard, but pieces like this where, yes. No, you're totally right, but count out loud. Count out loud. And I'm sure that's something you probably already know, but count out loud. They're collies. We're gonna do this Naruto song for my yeah, it isn't. Yeah, you just have to count out loud. But that's the thing. You have to count out loud, even if it sucks. You have to count out loud. Here we go. Orochimaru. Wow, this is horribly written. Interesting. Okay, I want to talk. I want to talk about Baroque, and then I'm gonna play some of my own stuff, and then we're done. And maybe a little more Prokofiev. We'll see. I may get into playing a little more Prokofiev. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so let's talk about Baroque and really what makes something any genre for just a second. Because I think this is a pretty misunderstood topic because we're inheriting all these categories that came from a rationalistic framework that was very isolated from the rest of the world and was mostly just thinking about oh yes, if anybody wants to join the Discord server, absolutely. Thank you for that. Makes it easier for requests. If you want to keep nerding out, that is where all the nerding out will happen. We have a good nerding out thing. We were talking about colleges. Was that yesterday? Talking about colleges and whether or not it's worth it to still go to college for music and all that. Link won't work on mobile. You're gonna have to go to my my channel if you want to do that. What is it called when you have a repeating note in the top of a melody? I mean, you could call it an ostinato. You could call it a pedal tone. But it's sort of Baroque, but I wouldn't really call it Baroque. So here's the thing you have to understand about categorization first. There's pros and cons. The big pro of categorization is it makes it easier to understand the framework of what you're actually doing and what you're accomplishing. The cons of categorization is you're always going to be wrong. You're always going to be wrong because anytime you start to categorize something, you'll find exceptions because these are just people after the fact going, how can I make sense of this? Not the people in the moment actually figuring out what you're doing. There you go. There's killing in the name for you. So here's the other way to, thank you, Levi. I always appreciate that shout out. You're always so consistent with it. Very much appreciate it. Pedal tones can be anywhere. And an ostinato, yes, is a lot of times a repeated pattern. But yeah, pedal tones can be anywhere. Most of the time they're in the bass, but they don't have to be in the bass. Pedal tone's probably the most specific term for it. So anyway, basically the way that music history was taught in school, because they wanted to make it nice and tidy for a long time, was you had medieval, Baroque, classical, romantic, modern. Now, there's a couple problems with that. The first problem is this is all Western European based. And again, on the one hand, there's nothing wrong with that because you have to have a basis somewhere. This whole idea that there's nothing wrong with being centric to your culture is kind of weird because you grow up in a specific culture. The songs that are familiar to you are going to be your favorite songs that you're familiar with. So that's going to be what it is. That's problem number one. Though because there's other styles of music. So how do you integrate Indian music into that? How do you integrate Asian music into that? How do you integrate South American music into that? The answer is you can't. So ultimately, right away, we have this problem with art music. JOD, it's you're gonna have to go to the YouTube thing, or you're gonna have to go to okay, the link from the channel. Hold on, I gotta update it. That's my problem. I'll fix that. I will fix it. I'll get it because it's an old link. It just expired. I gotta put a new one in. Hang on, I'm getting there. I will fix it for you because I care. Let's see. There we go. Boom. Done. New link put in. Okay. Yeah, I should make it permanent. I should. I'm just paranoid. Okay, so you got problem number 1 was Western European centric, which isn't the biggest problem, but it is a problem. Problem number 2 is we're acting like these time periods are these concrete movements where they go from one thing to the next. That's not how human history works. That's not how things go. I'm not playing any more just random music. I'm gonna play like one more thing that I want to play, and then I'm done today. We're talking genres for a second. So let's talk about Baroque though, because Baroque is a good title for that period. Effectively, Baroque music, which I know one of the easy translations to English people say is bizarre. What Baroque music really personifies is going to be music that involves counterpoint. Counterpoint is going to be like the number one main feature that a lot of people think of as Baroque. And again, there's part of these genres that is looking backwards and forwards. So if you look backwards, the big difference between Baroque and medieval era, because medieval era had a ton, oh, thanks, Kareem. The medieval era had a ton of like what you would call it, counterpoint. But it was all about the medieval era was modal. You were stuck in a mode. So you didn't have as much functional harmony. So in many ways, the other way you could think about Baroque music is you have counterpoint plus functional harmony for the most part. That's that whole thing. Now let's talk about, then as you move on, you go to classical. What makes classical different than Baroque? Well, classical, you turn down that counterpoint knob like 11, and you add in parallel periods and structure. So everything about classical is like 4 measure phrases, 8 measure phrases. Now, you're going to get a lot of fuzziness in those boundary areas. I think probably one of the biggest ones to me is looking at Liszt and looking at Debussy at the end of the Romantic era going into the modern era. There are things that make them very much a modern composer, but there's also things that make them very much a Romantic era composer. Another one is Beethoven. Is Beethoven a classical era composer or a Romantic era composer? Most people categorize Beethoven as a classical era composer. But if you really think about how much he was pushing the envelope, it's mostly because of the time period that he was alive that we call him a classical composer versus a Romantic era composer. So Rachmaninoff is 100% considered modern, but Rachmaninoff is part of a neo-romantic era. So it's going to be from there. Yeah, that's a complete transition from pagan and church music to what we generally think of classical music is. Sort of ish. I mean, if you really look at music history, music always starts in the church. Like, I hate to tell anybody who's like non-religious, but music comes from the church, then out into the world, and then gets secularized. There are some other, like you got folk songs, right? So it's a cycle, right? So you can have folk songs that come in and come into the church. But so much of music and music history is a history of the resources of the church. I want to answer that question in just a second. Yeah. So much of music history is the resources of the church. Exactly. Most musicians. Mahler was a Jew, was not a Christian at all, and he was a religious composer for most of his time because that's where the money was. I'm not trying to be religious about it. I'm just trying to be realistic about it. For most of that, the money was there. And you may go, well, that's not true anymore. Think again. Some of the biggest artists alive right now are funded by the church and are church musicians. So I am telling you, it, anyway, that's a whole side tangent, but a lot of people don't appreciate the connection between the church and music history and how that connection is still alive to this day. If you walk into a department store, I don't know how it is in Europe. If you walk into a department store and you just listen and you're not paying attention and you're familiar with Christian contemporary music, you're gonna think that they're playing worship music in the store because so much of pop music has evolved into mimicking the Christian contemporary composers, but that's a whole topic for another day. It's a pendulum swinging thing because then you have U2. Yeah, and again, maybe that's died a lot in Europe because there's not as much funding, but in the U.S. with the mega churches, there's so much. How is mainstream music degraded to such an extent? Intricacy and thought was put into music versus nowadays commercial music is supposedly 4 chords or something. I think that's a great exaggeration, but it, I think, highlights 2 important truths. So I don't want to come in hypercritical. It's very easy to come in and be like, no, music is always music. It's always the same. And, we really should be celebrating the pop music of today. There's a lot of good features of it, all the things which I generally agree. But I would give you one cautionary point to make against that, and then I'm going to actually agree with you in 2 different ways. So the first one is going to be careful with mainstream versus art music. A ton of classical music is really just art music, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just true. Art music and mainstream music are very different. Like, you have to understand, there were jazz and big bands happening at the same time as Shostakovich and as Scriabin and as Scott Joplin and as Stravinsky, right? So that's a huge part of it. But here's the 2 things that have fundamentally changed music forever. The first is technology, recordings. We don't know about the fishmonger tune that the seller was singing in the streets back in the 1800s because we didn't have recordings. Now, a fishmonger sings and then goes on TikTok and it's a huge phenomenon and it's billions of views, right? That's part number 1. Technology has changed it, so music that was meant to be transitory just for a moment is now shared by billions of people on the internet. And that really changes the scales because those popular songs have an ability to be even that much more popular compared to art music, which is always going to have a more niche audience. That's point number 1, recording technology. Huge, huge, huge. The second is the democratization of money and finances. If I was a successful musician, even 100 years ago, my main audience would be really rich people because they would be the only ones who could afford to keep me and my family alive and everything. Now, that's still somewhat true. Like I played a lot of high-end weddings. I played a lot of small intimate venues where, again, it's just people who can afford it. But it's nowhere near as true as it used to be. If you want to make $1 billion in music, you cater to middle-class people. You are the Taylor Swift of the world. You're the Beyonce of the world. Chopin enthusiast. It's an ongoing conversation. I do disagree. I think music this day is intricate, all sorts of cool things. But for two reasons, I want to take a slightly different take. Reason number one is I want to keep expounding. And you did ask the question in a slightly different way. 21st century audience would not sit through an hour listening to Shostakovich 5. Yeah, so I think as musicians, we don't appreciate enough that there is an education piece and there is a respect of your audience piece. Most classical musicians think that an audience should just grow up and just become educated. And here's the funny thing. You bring in that audience to an orchestra concert to listen to Final Fantasy music, and they come back and they are like fans for life of orchestra stuff because they've never heard it before. But so many orchestras would never deign to play video game music because they think it's beneath them. So, all right. Just had to rant for a bit. Love your music. Thank you. Am I there? Yes, I'm here. We're going to do a little bit of Prokofiev, one little Prokofiev piece, then one little piece of mine, then I got to go. Let's get the right notes. That's right. That's a silly little piece. I gotta work on that one again. All right, let's play another one of mine. Rush E, rush E, rush E. Do I prefer classical music over modern music? No. I prefer all music. I like all music. If a human being gave effort to it, I can respect that. That doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, like, I definitely like different things. Oh, thank you. Tristesse by Chopin. I need to get going. You guys are awesome. Yeah, here's what I would say. It's way too easy. This is where I'll end this. It's way too easy. If you're an old head, if you love old stuff, because let's face it, the test of time is amazing. Like, stuff from the past is just incredible. You fall in love with this stuff, and then you bemoan the state of the world we're in right now. It's a very common rabbit hole to go down. Let me give you this one little piece of advice, and this is at least how I live my life. Try to think about what is positive about right now. And one of the things that I will say is TikTok and social media has created a way for people with a far more niche set of tastes and abilities to be successful than have ever existed in the entire world. People who think that it was better in the 90s or better in the 70s or better in the 40s, they are out of their minds. They are out of their minds. Now, because of that, it means that you get straight garbage out all the time, but you got to just take the garbage with the non-garbage. Blue Monk, sorry, we're done for today. I may be back later. It just depends. Exactly. More possibilities mean more competition, which means you get some garbage. So do I use TikTok? I do, just to put out shorts. I don't go live on there. I don't have a big enough following. I've never cracked TikTok. So sorry, Blue Monk. All right. Peace out, everybody. Catch you later. We're almost done. We almost got monetization, all that business. So thanks so much.